Hey everyone, my name is Danielle LeRae, and today we are going to be making double knee patches for these jeans using this wool blanket. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's a complete DIY. If you have a pair of jeans that you want to add a double knee to, I'm going to show you how to do it now. And choose whatever fabric you want. I'm going to use wool, mainly because this isn't big enough to make a jacket out of, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to make some double knee patches. Let's do it. Okay, first thing you're gonna wanna do is grab the fabric you wanna make the double knee patches out of, fold it in half so that you're cutting two at a time, and lay it down on your table. Make sure it's nice and flat. Then you're gonna take your jeans and you're gonna fold them, button them up nicely, and then you're gonna fold them in half, making sure to line everything up. You're going to place them on top of your fabric that you want to make the double knee from. All right, awesome. Now grab a chalk pencil if you have it. What we're going to do is, starting here at the gusset, you're going to make a little mark, and you're just going to trace along your jeans all the way down, stopping about 10 inches from the hem. So grab your ruler, you can mark it here at 10. Mark it on the other side as well. And then again on the other side, mark up until you get back to that gusset. Just make sure that's nice and clear. You're going to want to also trace along the crotch portion. Same on the other side. Once you have that, remove it. And you have an outline. It's hard to see here because I'm using chalk, but you'll have an outline. You're going to find where the two 10 inches meet at the bottom and line that up, and then do a straight line across. And same here. I'm going to choose just this line on the blanket to mark that across. Make sure you can see everything. And that will give you your double knee pattern. Now, you can add seam allowance, but because a double knee is going to be smaller on the jeans, I'm actually going to use this as my pattern piece and then fold under. Like, we're going to serge this edge, or if you don't have a serger, you're just going to fold this side under. I'm going to do 1/2 inch. And then that's going to give me the nice, like, double knee look on my jeans. So once you have that, grab your scissors, which, where am I? I'm using these lovely LDH scissors today. I love these. And you're just going to carefully cut along the line you just made. So now you should have two perfectly mirrored knee patches. Now it's really important that we make sure all of our lines are straight. It looks like I wasn't very straight here. I am going to take, this is what I'm going to do. You can personally do a multitude of other things, but this is what I found works best, is I'm going to take 1 inch off of this side seam here and 1 inch off of this top portion and leave the other part. From there, we are going to serge here. We're going to essentially serge this entire thing. And then once it's serged, we're going to hem 1/2 inch down on this side with the crotch gusset here and here. And you can leave this portion open. This is going to get sewn into the side seam of your jeans, so you don't need to worry about that now. But let's serge this portion here, and then pin it all under on the wrong side 1/2 inch. All right, now I've serged my pieces, and what we want to do now is hem the wrong side under. So if I have one of these iron safe rulers, which for me, it's so nice. I can just, there's a 1/2 inch there. I'll just iron along that 1/2 inch line as I go. If you don't have one of those, then you're gonna wanna grab your ruler and your chalk pen, wherever I put it. And you're just gonna wanna go along the edge and mark a 1/2 inch. You could also do a whole inch if you're more comfortable with that, but you'll just mark that along and then connect the dots. And then you'll take your iron and you'll press back. So make sure it's on the wrong side and you'll press it back on both of your pieces. One more note before you start, make sure you're pinning as you iron, pinning or clipping so that it stays in place. Here is what you'll have after you've ironed and pinned. You do not need to do this outer side because we are going to actually sew that into the jeans. Like we are going to take apart the seam and this is going to get sewn in. So you can see here now, I'm going to line this up where I want it. And then this part will get sewn in, so it'll look like that. This is personal preference too. If you want less here, you can also sew it in, like sew it under more or cut more off. This is super personal preference, whatever. Just make sure you don't get the pocket in there when you are sewing. And I'll show you that when we move on to the next step. Now that we have our knee portion done, we're gonna take our denim and our seam ripper. We're gonna flip it inside out. And we are going to remove this outer seam. So not the one where the crotch gusset is, but the outer leg portion. And we're going to remove it. You don't have to do it all the way up, but I would say like I have a Levi's sign here, so I'm going to start just below it. And to do that, you just unpick the seam. This will take a while, but just be patient. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. I just want to show you too, you don't need a seam rip all the way down. Just a couple inches above the hem is fine. We just want to be able to get in there and have it flat so when we sew it's a lot easier. All right, once you have it open, flip it right side out. Then it should look like this. Both of the sides of the legs should be open. So now what you want to do is lay it flat. You can open it all the way up too if that's easier for you. Actually, that might be a little easier. So let me just, I found that this denim's strong enough to rip up. So, and then starting with one leg, lay it out nice and flat. Grab the one that is associated with that leg. Line up the top of it with the bottom of your zipper. And then grab some pins. You will need pins for this, not clips. Grab some pins. And starting here, start pinning it. Make sure you have the pocket out of the way, pinning it in to the denim. This portion is going to get pinned to the seam. And you may have some extra here. You can trim this at the end or reserge it if you want. But the most important part is you get this where you want it perfectly. Do that all the way down, making sure it's straight and that you're only going through one side of the denim. You're keeping it lined up at the end here too. You might need to move it over a smidge. And then just reach your hand in there, make sure you didn't go through both sides, which I did. You'll have what looks like this. Repeat on the other side. It's important when you're doing this that they look like they line up. And a good way to figure that out is by making sure they're completely centered and then adjusting. It looks like this one's a little lower than this one. So I need to move it up just a smidge because I want it to be perfect. I want it to look lined up when I'm wearing them. Now that they're all lined up, we're gonna sew these on and I'm gonna do a double stitch here. So I'm gonna sew it once here at 1/4 inch and then again at 1/2 inch. Or look at the seams that are already on your pants too, and that'll help you decide. It looks like these are a 1/4 inch apart, so whatever you do, like try to match the jeans. So this next step is completely optional, but I think it's gonna look really cool. So I'm gonna add rivets to my patches. So if you have a rivet set and you know how to do this, great. If not, skip ahead. I'm not going to be showing how to do rivets. You essentially just punch a hole and then with your rivet kit, finish it off. Once you have everything done on the outsides, I just did some cool little rivets. You're going to want to flip your pants inside out again, because now we are going to sew them back up. And to do this, this is the last step, really easy. Just line up the seam the way it was before, pin or clip, making sure that you catch your new knee patch in between everything and everything's laying flat. So if your knee patch hangs out a little bit, that's okay, you can trim it. Mine is lining up perfectly, so I'm stoked, I won't need to trim. Do that all the way up. And then sew along the original seam. So for these jeans, these Levi's, it looked like it was a 1/2 inch originally. So I'm gonna clean all this up, take all this old thread out, and then just sew it back together. All right, this is what it's gonna look like on the inside now. To clean this up, I'm just gonna serge all 3 of these edges together. There you have it. I didn't use black, I just used the green that I had in, but now you have a nice clean edge. This is optional if you don't have a serger, it's okay. Now we're gonna flip them inside out and try them on. There you have it. Some super cool double knee pants. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is the easiest way I've found to do the double knee on a pair of pants that you already own. Happy sewing!